So I'd like to thank you all for joining me once again. I apologize on the sound quality. I'm getting these weird sounds lately on my microphone. Hope to have that resolved one day. Anyway, I've just started learning speed tree, and one of the things that I needed to do was to add trees arbitrarily to certain areas or zones on a piece of geometry, and I couldn't find a decent video on how to do that, so I decided I'll make one of my own. And I hope this will be helpful. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right. First thing is first. What we need to do is bring in some geometry and make sure that it's going to work properly. What we're going to do is we got to create a state where we'll be able to do that. So we're going to go to add, and we're going to go to something called zones, and we're just going to create a new zone. So what is this going to do? It's basically going to tell SpeedTree that on this geometry that we're going to connect to it, you will grow trees, grass, vines, whatever you want. So for now, let's just start off with just a zone. The next step is to bring in a mesh. Usually you used to having this window up here or this window up here. We're going to go to one window up, one tab up, I mean, that's called meshes. And under meshes, we're just going to go to the little plus button up here, and we're going to call up the geometry. So I've pre-made this geometry, which is just a ground plane that I sculpted in ZBrush and then cleaned it up and then moved into Maya and then did some work there. So let me just bring that in, and then we get this little pop-up wizard, which is going to ask us, what kind of geometry is this? What are we going to be using this for? In this case, I just wanted this to be a surface that stuff will grow on, so I'm just going to choose the third one down. So let's do that. It's already created another zone, so let me just blow away the one I created. You don't have to, but sometimes it just does this. So the next thing we want to add this in. I find it's better to do it from here because the results you get are unpredictable. Just click on this once, you'll get the options, and what we'll do is we'll scroll down until we find meshes. There we go, meshes. And what you want to do is where it says geometry over here, we want to just go and choose the geometry we brought in. So it's very important to name stuff right. As you can see now, the geometry is not oriented right. So going, why is this like this? Basically, speed tree's up vector is z. That's like Unreal and most gaming engines. But we want the up vector to be y, so we just got to change that here in the mesh, and voila, we have our mesh in the correct orientation. Our next step is just to add some texture to this, so that's pretty easy. We're going to move to the material tab, plus again. I've already just navigated to all of these folders, so that's why it's remembering it. Then I'll just click on the little hand, drag and drop, and voila, we have our texture. Alright, next step, we're going to make sure that the zone is chosen, and we are going to add a trunk. And the first thing you will notice that you can't see any trunks, and that's just basically because there aren't enough of them, so I'm just going to scale this up. So as long as you do those steps, you'll be able to get this results. Let me just generate. Let's just scale these guys up so they'll be in a decent size, and just randomize them some more, just a little bit. All right. So, all right. Next step, we want a mask. So basically, we need to mask off the areas we want our trees to grow. To do that, we gotta apply a mask to our geometry, and we gotta tell the trunks on where to sit on that mask. So to do that, we're gonna choose our zone again. And there is another tab that's called masks, and we're gonna add this mask. I pre-made this in Maya. Let me just open Maya. It's very easy to do in Maya. You just you bring up the geometry you want. You save into a new scene. This is very important to do. And then you right click over the geometry, go to Paint, 3D Paint here, and it will bring up your artisan tool, basically a paint tool. And what you want to do is you want to go down to where it says File Texture and assign a texture, and we'll ask you all kind of questions about that. Just make it a JPEG, a TIFF, or whatever, and the size you want. Make sure you get it into at least a 1K. And then you just paint what you want to paint, and then you got a flood tool, you got and you can choose what kind of colors you want to flood, and you want your paint tool here. So basically I just wanted a black and white option. And when you're done, you just scroll down here and press save, and it's all good. Back to SpeedTree. So I'm going to choose the texture I want, and then just drag and drop it onto the, make sure that you're grabbing the zone or the surface. And yes, but nothing's changed. So why not? So let's have a look. Firstly, under masks, I could see there's a mask now in the scene. And the reason is that the trunk node doesn't know to call it off from the mask. So what I need to do is basically find where I got to tell SpeedTree to take it from the mask. Sometimes this is annoying. There's so many options. I guess here's a mask, so I'm going to add a mask. Masks here under Gen. And then I just give it the right one. There we go. And look, we have trees exactly where we want them to grow. Let's see, I don't know how to get rid of the environment fog, but again, I'm also pretty new to SpeedTree, but as you can see, it's pretty easy to add trees and to do stuff with it. So let's say I now want to have certain trees in certain places, or let's just scale them up some more. I think they're pretty small for my scene. There you go. What we can do now is something very cool. Is firstly I can add, let's just add a few things. Let's add some branches. So just add a standard branches so we get this, and we can hide those later. We can also, so now we got a nice little foresty feel to it. We can also now, well, for now I'm not going to add any leaves, but you get the idea. Let's say I want to move this tree, just the one tree, and move him around a bit and change him. Just under the edit here, you could choose the node, and let's say choose this guy, and I'll just move. The one thing I don't like about this is it pops around a bit, so it's not always the most friendly thing. See that it's not that it's not that I lost it. It's just it's moved somewhere in space, and you got to be very gentle with it. I don't know why it behaves the way it behaves, but it seems to do that. Anyway, it's pretty cool. Let's say I want to edit just a simple tree. I'll go into the node, choose the tree I want to edit, and then let's say the spine, I could, maybe have it split lower down and bend it, and maybe add a little more detail, and we can then maybe twist it and go to the generator, which is not going to go branching. Like the branching is basically how it's splitting off and how thick the tree is. Fields, caps, all of this stuff, and then you can Let's add some texture to the trees, and then I think I'm now over 10 minutes, so let's just do this and we will be done. So let's go here, and under the speed tree hides under your program files. So you're gonna go program files, speed tree, if you ever lose this folder. Yeah, I'm wrapping this up, don't worry guys. Anyway, so we want to go samples, textures, and then I want, we'll take the standard bark, open, and we'll drag and drop them on the trees. So in this case I just chose a specific one, but you can choose like different types of trees and then do this. So that's it for me. Again, just feel free to play around with this, and I hope this helped. It took me a while to find most of the stuff on my own, and that's why I made the video. And I hope you guys like it. Anyway, thanks and good luck.